Hello, my name is Melissa Besson, and I'm going to be discussing parental leave with you today. Parental leave is defined as employee benefit that includes maternity leave, paternity leave, and adoption leave. Parental leave offers qualifying parents the right to take unpaid time off work to look after your child or make arrangements for the welfare of your child. It is designed to provide a balance between work life and home life for new parents. However, parental leave in most cases is not providing enough of a balance between work and home to satisfy parents, and that is why parental leave has become a family issue. There are no laws in the United States regarding only parental leave. However, there is the FMLA, the Family and Medical Leave Act. They take a stand in trying to help new families spend time together without losing their jobs. FMLA is a federal law that guarantees employees up to 12 weeks off work unpaid without the risk of losing their job. FMLA also protects employees by allowing them to maintain their health benefits during their time off. However, the FMLA can only do so much because they are regulated. FMLA can only be offered to employees who work for a company with 50 or more employees and who have worked there for at least a year. The problem is that even if the workers are eligible for parental leave, most cannot afford to take it. Most employees find themselves returning to work in less than 4 weeks after having a baby because they simply need to pay their bills. If an employee has no vacation time, no sick time, and does not qualify for FMLA, then it does not really matter that they're allowed to take 12 weeks off because they can't afford to do so. When parents are going back to work because of the stress of bills and not by choice, it makes for a rough home life. Business Insider stated that out of 196 countries, the U.S. is one of 4 that does not have a federally mandated policy to give new parents paid time off. The Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill commented on this topic on August 22nd in Monette, Missouri at a town hall, stating, "We are the only developed nation in the world that doesn't have paid maternity leave." She went on to discuss how some states are making little progress, for example, California, Rhode Island, and New Jersey. They all have paid maternity leave mandates. However, California and New Jersey only require 6 weeks off of partial income replacement, and Rhode Island only requires 4 weeks off of 60% income replacement. And while that's still better than nothing, it's nowhere near what other countries mandate employers to provide. For example, take Finland. Expecting mothers in Finland can start their maternity leave 7 weeks before their estimated due date, and after that, the government covers 16 additional weeks of paid leave through a maternity grant. Finland also offers 8 weeks of paid paternity leave. After a child turns 3, parents can also take partial care leave, in which they split time between home and work. That lasts until the child starts 2nd grade. In Denmark, new moms can take a total of 18 weeks of maternity leave, 4 weeks before the birth and 14 weeks after, all at full pay. After the baby is born, they also allow 2 weeks paid paternity leave. From that point on, parents can split 32 additional weeks of leave however they see fit. By law, the government covers 52 weeks of pay, though not always at full salary. And another example is Iceland. Iceland parents can split their 9 months of post-childbirth leave straight down the middle. Moms get 3 months, dad gets 3 months, and then the couple decides how to split the remaining 3 months, all while each parent receives 80% of their salary. In terms of resources, businesses say they do not want the federal government putting their hands on their business and telling them how to spend their money. At the end of the day, parental leave is expensive, and business owners just don't want to pay for it. However, Fortune magazine states that the reality is that if you finance your paid leave program with payroll deductions, it would cost each employee less than $1 a week. California has implemented this program, and it costs their employees roughly $30 a year for them to have 6 weeks paid leave, which is a start. Fortune magazine also showed that having the government's hand in your business doesn't have to change the way you run it. They showed that most businesses who offered paid parental leave to their employees either saw positive or no noticeable effect on profitability, turnover, and morale. According to Fortune magazine, currently only 12% of Americans get paid paternal leave. This 12%, of course, includes our executive state workers. Missouri recently passed a policy allowing only people who work for the executive branch of the state government to be granted paid parental leave. This policy states that every employee shall receive paid parental leave following the birth or adoption of a child for whom the employee is a primary or secondary caregiver. It also states that the primary caregiver shall receive 6 weeks of parental leave, while the secondary caregiver shall receive 3 weeks of parental leave. It goes on to state that if both parents are state employees, each parent shall receive parental leave, which may be taken concurrently, consecutively, or at different times. This policy also states that an employee shall receive 100% of his or her salary during the leave. This is currently available. It was implemented March 13, 2017. So the resources are available, people. We are just not being extended the olive branch. I am here to help. I am here to extend the olive branch to American families. In the first 12 weeks of life, babies are learning and absorbing everything around them. They're starting to recognize faces, and we want children to be most comfortable with their parents and form these attachments to their mother and their father, not to strangers. More important than that, though, is that these children are forming emotional bonds with people who spend the most time with them. Every year, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention puts out what they call a breastfeeding report card. In 2016, they reported that 81% of women breastfeed their children at some amount of time in their life. Could you imagine having to go to work while trying to breastfeed? Fathers also shouldn't have to give up time with their children just to be the provider of the family. We all have families that we love, and we work to be able to provide for them, but providing for them shouldn't be in place of spending time with them, especially in the first 12 weeks of their lives. I have rallied for my community to stand behind me as I fight for all families of America. I have started a Facebook page and I have called it Paid Parental Leave for All. This page will serve to provide others with the steps I am taking to promote paid parental leave. I will keep it updated with letters that I have written to government officials and any leeway that I make during my journey. This page will also serve as a site for people to comment and take a stance on the matter as well. One goal that I have for the success of implementing paid parental leave is that we should see a small decline in the need for public assistance in food stamps. According to Business Insider, it should be roughly 15% or so per state. Another goal I have is to set up stronger parent and child relationships. By allowing paid parental leave, you open more options for men to take time off work. Studies have shown that the more time children spend with their parents, they do better in school, they communicate better with others, and they have less behavioral problems. We would see success with this by watching the behavioral rates of children in the community decrease while the academic rates should increase. A third goal I have is to see employers wanting to implement paid parental leave instead of them seeing it as a burden. I hope to show businesses that by offering paid parental leave, you not only have a leg up on other companies who do not offer it, but you're also creating a more positive work environment. I will judge success with this because we will see how many businesses jump on board versus how many oppose the issue. I collaborated with the National Partnership for Women's and Families. I made calls and got information about how they got their previous acts passed and what they did in order to be successful. They've had their hand in implementing many programs and acts in our communities. They currently join me in this fight to provide paid parental leave in all of the United States. They have a page where you can co-sponsor the Family Paid Act, and all you have to do is fill in your personal information and click send. I also partnered with the Working Mother. I posted their petition onto my Facebook page. These companies currently work together, and I plan to join them in reaching more people. To advocate for this page, I will be using my social media page that I mentioned earlier on Facebook. And I will also be trying not only to pass a policy, but to implement that federal law be made allowing all employees, no matter where employed, 12 weeks paid parental leave. First thing I did was I went online and I downloaded a petition form and I started gathering signatures within my community to support my cause. Once I had a decent amount of signatures, I wrote a letter to Representative Billy Long. He is the representative for the 7th District of Missouri, which is where I currently live. I stated in the letter that it is unjustifiable to allow companies to decide whether they should offer paid parental leave or not. I stated that paid parental leave should be law and went on to discuss the benefits children get when spending time with their parents in the early stages of life. I then went on to discuss my petition and how many citizens thought the same way that I do. I then wrote a letter to my state senator, Claire McCaskill, who I mentioned previously spoke on this topic. I would reiterate what I wrote to Billy Long in hopes that one of them would either take it to the House of Representatives or the Senate. I have not received a response to my letters yet, but I am hopeful that my advocacy plan will be a success in starting a movement towards paid parental leave. I will know if I'm successful in this because I will receive a response letter from either Billy Long or Claire McCaskill agreeing to take my proposal to a committee for further review. I will know that I am unsuccessful if I get a generic letter thanking me for my opinion and asking me for my vote. I think that this activity has raised more awareness in my community about paid parental leave because everybody that I talked to was for it. I did not meet one person who thought it was a bad idea. Even the people who said they would not take advantage of it still thought that others should have the opportunity to. I myself do not have children and I am not expecting, but my brother and sister-in-law just had my beautiful baby boy nephew about 6 months ago. My brother was only able to take a week off to spend time with his brand new baby, and he had to use all of his vacation time to do so. I hope that I am successful in implementing paid parental leave as law or policy for all citizens of the U.S., and not just certain ones, so that we can all enjoy time with our children when they need it most.